Tonight, President Trump speaking out about the ouster of his national security advisor, John Bolton.
John is somebody that I actually got along with very well. He made some very big mistakes.
A source familiar with the matter telling NBC News one of the final straws was a disagreement Monday in the Oval Office over whether to ease sanctions on Iran, and that Bolton, who has pushed for regime change in Iran, argued forcefully against it. Bloomberg reports the idea was to pave the way for negotiations with Iran's president. Today, President Trump not ruling it out.
Would you consider easing sanctions to make a meeting happen?
We'll see what happens.
The president revealing he and his hawkish national security advisor clashed over many issues, including the president's talks with North Korea. And Mr. Trump blasted Bolton's support for the Iraq war.
Mr. Tough Guy, you have to go into Iraq. Going into Iraq was something that he felt very strongly about. So we're right now in for over $7 trillion into the Middle East.
Bolton, who insists resigning was his idea, today texting NBC's Peter Alexander, "I'll have my say in due course." But President Trump says it was his call.
And he sat right in that chair. And I told him, John, you have too many people, you're not getting along with people, and a lot of us, including me, disagree with some of your tactics and some of your ideas. And I wish you well, but I'd like you to submit your resignation, and he did that.
And tonight, the president saying he's not looking at anything when asked if he's planning to meet later this month with Iran's president.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.